A good day to you viewers. My name is Masiga Victor Enoch. I'm the host for today, and with me here are
Fellow digesters, I'm Ezekiel Nabende.
Fellow digesters, my name is Ruhinsha Peter, and I'll be giving us insights for today.
Okay, so we're going to go into a discussion on AI in Africa. And I'll hand over to Mr. Ezekiel to give us a brief introduction on what exactly is artificial intelligence.
Thank you, Masiga. Now, if you're to look at artificial intelligence, AI is a specialized, specific field in the field of computer science, and it deals with mimicking, okay, what humans can basically do. For example, how humans write, how humans eat, what they could write, what they could think. Yes. So basically, they're mimicking what humans would have done if they're in that scenario. Yes. And the analytical engine or the driving engine behind that is what we call the deep neural networks. Okay, deep neural networks are a reflect or something copied from the human brain. Okay, it's how the brain has different networks that connect, from one network to another. Now, those networks is what deep neural networks are. There are different types of layers of networks, and those networks keep on taking in information. There's a first network that takes in information, which is the input network. Then the second network, which is the analytical network, analyzes what kind of information is that. Then the last network is the output network that gives an answer in relation to the question that you've asked it. Okay? Now that's what they call the deep neural networks.
So that's exactly how AI is able to mimic.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Mr. Peter, do you have any further suggestions in regards to that?
Thank you, our host today, Mr. Masiga. Just like my colleague has spoken about AI, I'll now try to digest it like we're here to digest today. When you talk about AI is a simple way of doing things in the modern world. I would say that's AI. To keep it brief, AI has been seen in many ways. You see students want to perform assignments, they use AI. Teachers come up with teaching memos and many other things. In other words, AI has simplified our work today. That's what I can call AI, the simplifier of our work.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, one thing we realize, statistics have shown that the global economy is likely to increase by 15.7 trillion US dollars because of artificial intelligence. So, Mr. Ezekiel, could you show us what Africa's contribution is to that? And probably we'll then go into how exactly that would happen.
Yes, thank you very much. As you said earlier, 15.7 trillion, that's a very high economic span for Africa in use of AI. However, that is globally. So now, however, in Africa, we expect that if Africans keep using artificial intelligence, or if they learn the use of artificial intelligence, they are to add about 2.9 trillion, okay, to the global economy. And that 2.9 trillion comes from different sectors, okay, from education to agriculture to retail. And retail will shock you as the sector that might bring in the most returns in the economic sector. Yes.
Okay. Mr. Peter, do you have anything in regards to, those kinds of statistics, what they mean for Africa in terms of, because Africa, we have various sectors. I mean, we have small sectors like agriculture. Can AI really benefit such small sectors?
Thank you so much, our host today. To begin with, since I'm a youth, I'll start with the youth. AI tends, actually, from the statistics, we see that AI will create about 230 million jobs. If the youth out there are hearing me and listening to me, 230 million jobs created out of AI is not something we take for granted. But furthermore, AI is not going to stop there. When you come into the agriculture sector, AI is going to generate about 6.7 billion US dollars. This has been used in Kenya to test, cassava diseases. Here in Uganda, we have seen it in the health sector. People are detecting pregnancies. So when we speak about Africa, furthermore in Kenya, when you come to the banking sector, we see that over 4.2 billion US dollars has been realized from AI, simply because Kenyans have used AI in their banking sector. AI is one that has even come in for customer conversations. You know, at night you're sleeping, but you're sick, you fall sick, you text, and guess what? AI is responding to you because it has been programmed through its algorithms to interact and give a customer feedback. That's AI, the beauty of AI. So AI has really tackled different sectors, be it agriculture, be it the health sector, be it the education sector. Today we have online tutors generated by AI. So all in all, AI is one that has been all around and has tackled different sectors, and the Africans are going to realize a lot in the end.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
to add on, Masiga,
Yes, please.
we have the retail sector,
Yes.
and I feel like it's a key point that we might have missed out. The retail sector is a quick money generating sector, in that it is expected for it to generate about 16.7 billion, okay, with continued use of AI. And how is that going to come into play? We see the sector itself has the use of AI at its grassroots, because we see most Africans, about 38% on average, order for things online, okay, and the systems that handle those online orders, yeah, are AI systems, okay.
Yes.
And with the continuing rise of these systems, okay, with the continuing rise of the use of these systems, we see the retail sector generating more income, more and more income, and in the end boosting the economic sector. Yes.
Okay, so this has really been interesting conversation with these two very well informed gentlemen. Statistics here and there. Now, speaking of statistics, about 230 million jobs are expected to be created in Africa because of AI. But when you talk debates on AI, the biggest worry is that AI is likely to take away people's jobs because it's easing everyone's work. For instance, the lawyers who already are grappling with low employment rates, they are still worried about the fact that AI is going to be able to take away their jobs in regards to legal advice. So maybe I would get to have some insights from the panelists today. How exactly does AI solve those worries in as regards to the availability of jobs?
Thank you so much, Mr. Masiga. You know, it's a funny thing when they say that we are going to lose jobs simply because AI has come into play. But guess what? I'll draw us back to the figure, 230 million jobs. This is not something to take for granted. When it comes to, for example, use the lawyers have come up with aspects of ADR to beat the case backlog in courts. When you look at ADR, it's a mechanism that has been designed to accommodate and harbor AI. When AI comes into play, lawyers shall instead not lose jobs, but rather have an increment in their jobs. Today when you see AI, it's something you may take for granted, but AI has come in with different styles of drafting documents, legal documents. This is not something you take for, because let's imagine, let's take an example. For instance, if you're talking about the lawyers who will lack their jobs and everything, if AI comes into play and you've been an AI specialist, that means your job has been created for you simply because of AI. So today, we shall not only, when we say that people are going to lose jobs, not only lawyers, when it comes to the medical sector, education sector, and many other sectors, it's only one that has tendencies of being myopic that will draw that conclusion that jobs have been lost, but rather jobs have been created and jobs are going to be created with AI coming into play, with us drawing back to the figure of 230 million jobs. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Ezekiel, what is the way forward for Africa? Is there something that we can do, probably have this assurance of these jobs? Because AI specialists, I don't know, is Africa welcome to that idea? Maybe you could give us some insights on that.
Yes, thank you. To start with, you should note that many African countries are left out in the discussions about AI. For example, in the UN analytics of artificial intelligence, in the BRICS guidelines, all those platforms, many of the African countries are left out. However, we should also note that there is a relief on the other side. We have the Economic Commission for Africa, the UN Economic Commission of Africa. It's set up about 5 pillars that Africans have, to follow for them to be engaged and to utilize the resources that come with artificial intelligence. A good one to start with is human capital. If you realize Africans, we have a lot of youth, but these youth are not skilled, particularly to use artificial intelligence. But however, if we skill youth, given that they're the bigger population, if we are to skill them to use artificial intelligence in a way that is more productive and to invent, okay, in that particular field, then it would be better for Africans.
If-
And another note to use AI in a way of research and development, okay?
Yes.
Use artificial intelligence to carry out research, or rather also carry out research in artificial intelligence so that you particularly know what you're aiming at, okay? That, which is the second pillar. The third pillar being partnerships, yeah? Africans should look at international, regional, and local partnerships, okay? Because the globe is advancing at a different rate, yeah? So if we borrow knowledge from other scopes, okay, other regions, it helps us to at least copy in a friendly way, copy and learn, yes.
Yeah. Okay. To take you back, Mr. Ezekiel, you talked about skilling these youths to be able to learn about AI and how to use AI and of course create jobs for themselves. Now my question is, in Africa, is there something that we've done? Okay, let me even look at Africa. Let's come to Uganda where we are from. Has any initiative been conducted in that respect?
Yes, thank you very much, Masiga.
Yes.
In that line, 2 weeks back we had the game conference, game GAIMA.
Or
Okay.
not their game of
No. So now in that conference we had about 180 countries, okay?
Yes.
However, it was situated in Uganda at Speak Resort. And in that conference we had innovations, okay, that are in line with using artificial intelligence. We had a team from IU that showed us how pests, yeah, could be selected out in crops, okay, and they sent something like a violent ray, to kill them. Some people also showed us that you could take pictures and upload them so that AI sorts you out which kind of disease is that, okay. Then they also showed us in banks how you could deal with fraud in a way that in case very many people have been withdrawing money from your account a number of times. So the AI follows up that trend, okay, to see whether you're the one who's keeping on withdrawing or not. And in that way we keep our money safe.
So
Yes.
we are looking at no more to bank scams.
Yes, no more to such scams for the coming time, for the coming period of time, yes.
Ponzi schemes and all.
No, that's a very good point.
Okay,
Yes.
that's really interesting. That AI has so much to offer for us. This is a conversation that could go the whole day. As you have seen, there is a lot of information out there, and we hope to be back here again. So, I think I would now turn to Mr. Peter.
Yes, sir.
To see if at all are there any any closing remarks or something that would leave to the viewers to ponder about in regards to AI as they wait for us to probably cook something better in regards to artificial intelligence.
Thank you so much, Mr. Masiga. As we wind up, it will be so important to note what we have been disclosing in this conversation. I will take the biggest highlight that triggers me as a youth. When you talk of 230 million jobs, that's something really great. And actually, back to everything you have been looking at, lawyers are going to lose jobs, different sectors are going to lose jobs. As we know, I could only say that a lawyer who doesn't know how to use AI is one who should be worried of losing a job. And the same cuts across in all sectors. My colleague Ezekiel, on the other hand, spoke about the game conference. If Africa has really come up with such initiatives and platforms, IU students are coming up with such innovations, I would really say that I think the biggest worry for Africa is data colonialism. Otherwise, as Africa and Uganda as a country, we have already taken a step towards starting to live with AI. And I believe that has been very, very evident in many spheres. You've seen university students adapting to AI, coming up with projects, secondary schools, as well as even primary people come up with AI projects. So I would say we should learn to live with AI and learn about the proper use of AI.
Okay, so
Thank you so much.
Don't live with AI, that's data colonialism.
Not really. What I meant with data colonialism is that, back in the days, African countries were subject to colonialism.
Okay.
But then, now in Africa, I believe as Africans, we are always looking at the white man wants to come and take up everything.
Okay.
Just as we draw back, AI began from US
Yes.
by John McClure. But then, back today, I think our biggest worry is back to data colonialism. We are scared of being colonized by data and everything. But otherwise, we have started taking the step. We have started taking a step at a time. Yeah. Thank you.
I think we should fight for data independence. Wonderful closing remarks from Mr. Peter. I love the fact that Africans are worried about data colonialism. I mean, I think we want data independence. So I guess, Mr. Ezekiel, you would also close us off, or any highlights you'd leave to the viewers as they wait for us.
Yes, thank you. At a point I tell my fellow colleagues that I study with, artificial intelligence is not here to, it's not here for us to use as a playboy, as a child, okay? But rather, it's here for us as a partner, okay? We're supposed to use it in a way that approves our ethics, yeah? Recently, ChatGPT as an OpenAI was sued by New York Times. And in there, they said it was collecting our private data, okay? So in that way, it gives you a hint that watch what you put within that artificial intelligence machine, or sorry, that artificial intelligence software, okay? Use it ethically,
So
okay?
in regards to that, are there any policies that are probably in place to, curtail the use of AI or control or regulate the use of AI?
Yes. A policy that I could think about is the Data Privacy Act, Protection and Privacy Act of Uganda. It hasn't developed a lot to the scope of having policies that could curtail artificial intelligence, but you should also realize that the software that we link ourselves to, they have policies and guidelines. In that, the data, the essential data that you give it, there are two types of data that you give it, okay? There's that data that it holds permanently, which comes into the privacy policies, and there's that data which is supposed to hold temporarily for about 30 days, okay? Now, you should take note that you don't give it the vice versa data. Don't give it the data that you want it to hold for 30 days or temporarily, and it's holding it permanently, okay? So that is one way for people as Africans or as people using AI at its basic level to note. However, we also continue to pray that our Data Privacy and Protection Act goes ahead to curtail it in its possible ways.
Okay. Yes, thank you very much, Peter and Ezekiel. I remain Masiga Victor Enoch, the host for today, alongside, these very gallant and intelligent panelists of today. So the take home for today, I think, to people who are viewing us today, is that AI is not your enemy, and AI is not here to take away your jobs, but rather AI is there to take away the jobs of those who don't know how to use AI. And indeed, there are indeed policies that are there to regulate the use of AI. The Data Protection Act, which still needs scrutiny. So to all policymakers out there, the parliamentarians, please, it is our urgent call to you to look into how we can strengthen this legislation on how to protect the use of AI. Thank you.